Alright, that took a little while. It was not wanting to cooperate with the encoder. Oh gosh, I don't even... Boom! I am not full screen, and I should be. Oh, did that do it? Hey, there we go. So this is my first time playing this game. I saw that it had just gotten a new update on the alpha, and I haven't touched it yet, so I'm really interested to see exactly what this is. So I know you can build starships, and you're supposed to... It has some management aspects, it's got some crew management, and then there's some simulations. That's really all I know. So I haven't even seen gameplay of this yet.
The Galaxy map lets you choose which office you want to select and where to establish new ones. Each office grants you access to the market of a different star system, providing new job opportunities. The market shows all available contract jobs for a star system. You can browse through the list and decide which jobs you want to research or design for next. The technology interface helps you make important decisions about which branch you want to invest in next so that you have all the facilities you need to fulfill the contracts you want. In the ship design interface, you can design the blueprint for a ship. The interface helps you keep track of the objectives the customer requires. The completed blueprint can be saved, loaded, and changed anytime later on. If the blueprint is fully functional, you can create a ship class to use it for crew management. Ship class layouts cannot be changed anymore. They're used for simulation only. The ship class can run through a series of simulated missions in crew management. Every mission produces a rating that is saved with the ship class file. SOP rating represents the standard procedure of the ship class. ERS rating tests emergency situations. And the HEP rating is for combat missions. These ratings are key to proving that your ship is fully capable of handling the dangers of space travel and good enough for the customer's requirements. You can revisit crew management at any time to try to improve the rating. Back in the market with a successfully tested ship class in your database, you can now take part in the bidding process. If you have a ship class fulfilling all the contract requirements, you can place a bid with it, undercutting any competitors with either a better performing ship or a better price. The market shows all available contract jobs for a star system. You can browse through the list and decide which jobs you want to research or design for next.
This is starting to look really complicated.
The technology interface helps you make important decisions about which branch you want to invest in next so that you have all the facilities you need to fulfill the contracts you want. In the ship design interface, you can design the blueprint for a ship. The interface helps you keep track of the objectives the customer requires. The completed blueprint can be saved, loaded, and changed anytime later on. If the blueprint is fully functional, the ship back in the market with a successfully tested ship class in your database, you can now take part.
Okay, I think I have a general idea after running through that twice, so I guess I'll just check the other tutorials.
Welcome to Sandbox Creation. Here you can choose a few settings that will determine the universe your game will be in. If the tutorial window is in the way, you can minimize or maximize it any time by clicking on Tutorial at the right edge of the window. You can access the help file by pressing F1 at any time. Please click on Next to continue. Please click on Enter Name, and to influence the difficulty starting out, you can choose either low starting funds for a greater challenge or a high value to have a little help at the beginning. For this tutorial, please select a sum of 40,000 Bitcoins. Click on Previous Step to go
Bitcoin.
back, and click on Next Step to progress through the Sandbox settings menu. To set your difficulty level for later stages of the game, you can select either a higher limit, allowing you
Huh.
You can set the winning conditions for this Sandbox game based on your personal preferences. As soon as you reach this goal, the game is won, but you can continue playing if you want. Please select Technology Fully Unlocked and click on Start Game to continue.
Another reason this game took so long to load is because it does so much preloading
Welcome to the
beforehand.
Galaxy Map tutorial. Please use the Next button to start. You can zoom in or out of the Galaxy Map by using the mouse wheel or the zoom interface in the top right corner. You can move the view by using the arrow keys or dragging and holding the right mouse button. Switch between the current view and the map mode by clicking the grid icon in the top right corner. The map mode will offer more information as overlays over each sector. Currently, only star density can be viewed as overlay, displayed in red. Create your first office in the solar system by clicking with your left mouse button on the solar system flag in the Galaxy Map. In the lower left corner, you'll then see the option to open an office. With every new office you're opening in a new star system, you'll gain access to additional markets, but also increase your running costs. Please click on Add New Office now and confirm your order. In this version, development is restricted to the solar system only. In the future, you'll be able to open new offices wherever a new system has been discovered and established. The game can be saved and loaded by pressing Escape and entering the Single Player menu. Additionally, the game is automatically saved every 60 seconds into the file Autosave. The Solar System Marketplace is now available to you. Please enter the Market interface by using the Modules menu in the top bar. Welcome to the Market tutorial. Please use the Next button to start. The upper part of the Market screen shows you the currently available contracts of the office you've selected. There will be different categories to choose from, but currently there are only design contracts available. The lower part of the screen displays the ship classes you currently own, the bids you're taking part in, and the contracts you've signed or made a copy of. The listed contracts provide you with information about their intended use, the required design and mission ratings, the maximum amount of payment, the required delivery date, the name of the client and his reputation, the number of bids already placed, and the expiration date of the bidding process. The star at the end lets you know if you already placed a bid for this contract. Please select the Contract Design Tutorial ship now. You'll see a detailed description of the contract, a list of requirements, the client's logo, and the list of bids already placed for this contract. In the description, you get a lot of information that helps you figure out if a job is possible to do or not. In the tutorial contract, you can see that sick bay and armory are both rooms that need to be built but have not been researched yet. Before we move on to the research interface, we want to add this contract to our contract list. Click on Design Ship at the bottom of the bid list. This will create a copy of the contract for you to work on. Select No because we don't want to change the ship design right now. Please select the tab Contracts. This list displays all the contract copies that you've acquired. You can remove them from the list anytime by clicking on the X right next to the title. Please change to the Research interface by selecting Technology from the top menu. Welcome to the Technology tutorial. The Design Tutorial ship contract requires a small armory and a sick bay. We're going to research these two missing technologies now. This interface shows you all the available facilities and fuselages that you can research over the course of your career. Items shown in red are not researched yet, items in blue are. If you move the mouse over different items, you'll get more information about them. The tabs at the top let you quickly jump to the categories that interest you most. The view is scalable by clicking and dragging on the circles on the edge of the scroll bars. Please click on the Health tab to jump to this category. In the subcategory Emergency, please select the room type, Sick Bay. A message will inform you about how much you'll have to invest to get this item. Click on Begin Research to start the process. Note that the category Title, Emergency, and the research costs have been added to the selected research station in the lower left corner. Please jump to the berthing category by selecting the tab at the top. In the subcategory Emergency, please select the room type, Sickbay. A message will inform you about how much you'll have to invest to get this item. Click on Begin Research to start the process. Note that the category title, emergency, and the research costs have been added to the selected research station in the lower left corner. Please jump to the berthing category by selecting the tab at the top. Drag and drop the second research facility, Small Research Station B, onto the subcategory column Equipment. If you assign a research station that's already busy, you'll be warned that the new job will replace the old one. Select the amount of money to invest in these categories by entering 800 Bitcoins, moving the slider, or clicking on Small Armory and then Begin Research. The category Equipment will be displayed in the Small Research Station B. At the moment, game time is paused. If you want to fast forward the game, you can use the time interface by clicking on the date in the upper right corner of the screen. It displays a list of important events and changes in your finances or reputation. To change the game speed, click on the plus or minus icon and on the time display in between to pause or resume the game. Please speed up time to 1 week per second now. Wait until both rooms have finished research. You can see a station's progress by its progress bar and status at the bottom of the screen, as well as the yellow vertical bar in each category. Once a room or fuselage has been successfully unlocked, you'll get a pop-up message from wherever you are in the game. The game is automatically paused, and the message will also be listed under Events in the game's speed interface. The unlocked room or fuselage can then be used for ship construction. If you want to stop any current research, you can either hit the X at the top of the category currently being worked on or click on Cancel at the bottom. Please resume the time and speed it up by using the time interface in the top right corner to research both rooms. After the sickbay has been completed, leave the game paused. The tutorial contract has an expiration date and we don't want to reach that yet. You've completed the tutorial for research and have 2 new rooms to build, Small Armory and Sickbay. Please switch to Ship Design to continue the tutorial. Welcome to the Ship Design tutorial. Please use the next button to start.
This is making my head spin. There is a lot to this.
In this screen, you can determine which contract you're working on and which fuselage to use. You can either click on Load to start with a pre-existing design or start a completely new blueprint, which we're going to do now. You can choose the goals for this ship design by switching between Contract, Custom, and None. Please select Contract now. Select Design Tutorial Contract from the list of contracts. Below the contract list, you'll see the most important requirements of the selected contract. On the right half of the screen, you can select from a list of fuselages. Currently, only Little Bug has been researched, so please select it. You can see a short description and basic information about the fuselage just below. Please click on Start Design in the lower right corner to enter ship design. In the upper left area, you'll find the Mission Progress panel. Here you can monitor how good your ship is rated. You can minimize this window by clicking on one of the arrows on the right side. In the upper right corner, you can see the Objectives panel. Here you can see the construction goals and information about your current ship design. You can minimize. In the upper right corner, you can see in the upper right corner of the Objectives panel, you can click on Change Contract to select a different contract. This way you can browse through all available contracts to see if their objectives are a fit for the current ship. At the top, you'll find the message bar. Click on the arrow at the bottom right to minimize or maximize the window. You can use this list to help you keep track of what you still need to build a fully functioning ship. At the bottom left is your ship's deck layout. You can switch between decks by clicking on the appropriate deck in the ship graphic. You can also change decks by using the page up and page down keys or the number keys 1 and 2. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Build menu. Please click on the small bridge from the Core Modules panel. You can rotate the selected room by clicking the right mouse button. You can place it anywhere by clicking the left mouse button. When a room is selected, you can return to the Build menu by pressing the Space key or by clicking on the Build menu icon. Click and hold the left mouse button over the built room until it attaches to your mouse cursor, then left-click again to build it in a different spot. Delete the bridge by clicking on it with the right mouse button or hitting the Delete key when the room is selected. You can undo any deletion or creation by pressing Z. Please place the bridge at the marked location on deck B2 to be able to continue the tutorial. You're only able to build one bridge. Move or delete the one previously built. Change the deck by using the page up or the number 2 key. When a room is selected, you'll see all of its requirements in the bottom right corner. You'll notice that the crew count in the Objectives panel has been updated. This tells you that you now need 2 pilots to operate the bridge. Please build a standard computer now. You'll find it under Core Modules. It's preferable to build it close to the bridge because you'll need a pilot to maintain it. In this ship, place it at the marked location on deck B2. Please select the computer. It doesn't require someone staying in it full time for the ship to operate. This means that you can send one of the bridge crew to maintain the computer core as well. Please select the Octagal engine from the Main Engine tab. You can only build an engine room next to yellow areas. Please build it at the highlighted location on deck B1. Change the deck by using the page down or number 1 key. Please switch to Berthing and select Pilot Quarters Small, then place 2 units at the recommended locations on deck B2. You'll notice that the crew count as well as the air and water supply are being updated. The engine room needs to be supplied by fuel tanks. Please select the small fuel tank from the storage panel and build 2 tanks at the recommended locations on deck B1. In the Objectives panel, you'll see the updated fuel supply for the ship. Please switch to Berthing. The engine room needs to be supplied by fuel tank. Please switch to Berthing and select Tech Quarters Small and place 2 of them in the recommended locations. Some crew management missions require quick access of technicians to the engine room, therefore it's a benefit to place their quarters close to it. Please place another set of 2 Tech Quarters Small at the other side of the ship. You'll now have 4 technicians available when performing a mission. Build a small air tank by selecting Storage and Air and place it in the marked location on deck B2. As you can see from the objectives and message panel, the air tank is not enough to supply the current crew count for the required mission duration. Please place another tank at the indicated location. The decks of the ship need to be connected. Select the stairway from the Infrastructure and Connections tab and place it at the highlighted area on deck B1. You can choose if you want to build down from deck B2 or up from deck B1 by clicking on the arrows at the right side of the stairway icon in the Build menu. If a lift or a stairway cannot be built up or down because it would intersect with a room or lead into space, it's shown in red. You'll also need water tanks to supply the crew for the entire mission duration. Select the small water tank from Storage and Water and place one now on the marked location on deck B2. Now place another one at the other side of the stairway to fulfill the objectives. Take a moment to maximize the message panel to see what you still need to do. As you can see, the ship is still in need of life support, water treatment, EEVs and hatches, as well as energy and cooling and supply lines. Orange messages are optional tasks. You can find life support under Health. Construct one at the indicated location on deck B2. Water treatment can be found in the life support category. Construct the water treatment at the indicated location on deck B2. Water treatment needs medical personnel to operate properly. The Objectives panel has been updated to show the new crew requirements. Please select the berthing category and build one Medic Quarters Small at the indicated location. All rooms are still without a power supply. Please select a small nuclear generator from the Power tab and build it at the marked location on deck B2. When a generator is selected, you can see how much power a single generator has left at the bottom right.
I don't see that. Oh.
Please select the water treatment. The red lightning icon signifies a room without a power supply. You can see how much power is needed in the room information. Please select the power generator or click on the power icon. Red squares or the lightning icon are power plugs to rooms without power. A green power plug means that the room has power. The number shows the amount of power each room needs. To place power lines, left-click and set start and end points of a power line. Left-click again on an already built node or right-click anywhere to stop connecting. Right-click to erase nodes. Please connect all the rooms to your power grid. Every node costs 10 bitcoins and is a source of malfunctions during missions, so place them wisely. Nodes that are not within rooms or corridors will not be accessible for repairs. There will not be enough power for all the rooms for now.
think I'm starting to kind of get the hang of this.
The small generator is not enough to power all the rooms on this deck. Please place another one at the marked location and connect it to the power grid. The lower deck needs power as well. Please place another small generator right next to the engine room and connect all the rooms on this deck to the power grid. Some rooms, like the engine room and the generator rooms, need cooling. This is indicated by a red temperature icon. Please build a small cooling unit from the cooling tab at the highlighted areas on deck B1 to accommodate this. This room type can only be built adjacent to the hull. The cooling generator is marked with red arrows. This means that these rooms still need to be sealed by an outer hatch. Select the cooling hatch from the Infrastructure/Hatches tab and build it next to the cooling generator at the marked location. Please select the engine room. You can see how much cooling is needed at the right side of the room information panel. Please select the cooling unit or click on the temperature icon. Connect the cooling units and the hatches to the power grid, then select the cooling unit or click on the cooling unit to activate the draw tool. You can see how much cooling a single generator has left in the room information panel at the bottom right. Use the left mouse button to connect the cooling unit to the engine room. Red squares signify a room without cooling, blue squares are rooms already supplied. There will not be enough cooling for every room. If the grid turns white, it means that the supply is depleted. The engine room requires all the cooling the small cooling unit provides. To be able to cool the power generator as well, please place another cooling unit at the indicated spot. Place a cooling hatch to seal the newly built cooling unit, then connect the new rooms to the power and cooling grid. Now select one of the tanks on deck B1 or the fuel grid icon and construct the pipe leading from the tanks to the engine room. You'll need to connect both tanks to satisfy the engine room's fuel demand. If the lines turn white, this means that the connected supply is depleted. Please provide air to life support on deck B2 by selecting the air tank or clicking the air grid button and then constructing the tubes. Now select one of the tanks on deck B1 or please provide air. Now select one of the Please provide air to life support on deck B2 by selecting the air tank or clicking the air grid button and then constructing the tubes to connect to the life support. Please connect the water tank to the water treatment facility by selecting the water tank or clicking the water grid icon and laying the pipes to water treatment. You can view all power lines and tubes of this deck at the same time by pressing and holding Tab. Life support, computer, and generators on deck B2 still need cooling. Please place a cooling unit at the marked location, seal with a cooling hatch, and connect to the power and cooling grid.
I think I'm starting to get this now. Couple extra notes for liability.
Open the Health and Emergency category. Select and place the sickbay at the recommended location on deck B1 and connect it to the power grid. Press S or open the File drop-down menu to save the current blueprint. Enter a name you like and hit Save. You can also enter a description to be able to better identify the blueprint later. Select the Small Armory from Berthing and Equipment and place it at the marked location on deck B2, then connect it to the power grid. Now you need to connect all the rooms on the ship so the crew can move around and access them. First, select a hatch from Infrastructure and Hatches and build 2 hatches on the highlighted locations on deck B2. Now select a Corridor 1 segment from Infrastructure and Corridors and place it between the hatches. You can connect distances of 2 grid tiles more effectively by using the large hatch. Select it from Infrastructure and Hatches and place it between the stairway and the armory. You might need to rotate the hatch to fit. Large hatches can only be attached to rooms or corridors in one direction. Please place enough hatches to connect every room on the ship. You can keep track of which rooms are still not connected by watching out for the bright red borders. You can connect distances of 2 grid. Please place enough hatches. Take a quick look at the messages bar up top. You can now see that the ship needs an exit hatch. The crew has to be able to enter or leave the ship somewhere. It can be placed anywhere along the hull, preferably at the marked location next to the engine room on deck B1. If you haven't already, please extend the power grid to supply all the new hatches. There won't be enough power on deck B1.
That is a lot of nodes.
The small power generator does not produce enough power to supply all rooms and hatches on deck B1. Please place another small nuclear generator at the marked location next to the engine room and connect it with power and cooling. Also, create a hatch to connect the generator with the engine room. In case of an emergency where the crew has to abandon the ship, there needs to be enough emergency escape vehicles for the entire crew. Select Health, then Emergency, and place 2 EEVs at the marked locations on Deck B1 and connect them with hatches. The EEVs don't need to be connected to the ship's power grid, but the hatches do. The blueprint is now ready for simulation. All requirements are fulfilled and the ship is fully functional. You can create a ship class by clicking on Prepare for Simulation in the File drop-down menu. After a new window checks the integrity of your design, you can save the blueprint as a ship class by clicking on Save Ship Class. The blueprint is now. Thank you for using the basic design tutorial. Please continue to Crew Management by clicking on Test and Crew Management.
Jeez. That took forever just to build that with the tutorial. I can't imagine how it'd be like doing it without it.
Confirm able to maintain 360 before Malta.
Welcome to the basic crew management tutorial. If the tutorial window is in the way, you can minimize or maximize it anytime by clicking on Tutorial at the. First, you'll learn how to test your ship and crew in the standard operation mission, learning basic interface functionality and familiarizing yourself with unit commands. If you started this tutorial out of context and there's no ship name displayed next to Ship Class, you'll first need to load Sample Ship Class using the File menu in the top left corner.
Okay, am I blind or am I not seeing the button?
On the left side of the
Oh,
screen,
sorry,
you
it's
can
like...
see a list of missions your ship can perform in. SOP missions test the standard operation of the ship, ERS missions simulate different kinds of emergencies, and HEP missions test encounters with hostile forces. Please select the standard operation mission. On the upper right side of the screen, you can set the number of crew members you want the ship to have. Reducing the crew can give you additional points as it saves money. This tutorial needs all crew members available, so please leave it as is. The objectives show you what the mission will be about. Most missions have a time limit that you'll need to keep in mind. In the lower right, you can see an overview of the points you'll get for each mission. Please start the mission now by clicking on the button in the lower right corner. The information panel in the upper left corner shows you how far mission time has progressed, how good your rating is so far, and why.
All systems online.
Ah, I'm frozen. Oh, it was loading. Alright, here we go.
In the top right corner, you're getting information about the name of your current mission, mission time, damage to the ship, the surplus energy available, and the available air and water supply. Below that, you can see how many rooms are in operation, how many are damaged or destroyed. You can also see how many crew members are healthy, injured, or dead. At the beginning, the mission is not yet started, but you can still look at all the decks and make plans ahead. Please start the mission now. You can pause the mission at any time by pressing P. It's also possible to speed up or slow down simulation speed by clicking plus or minus in the upper right corner or using the F10 or F11 keys. Please pause the game now. Please select the small bridge on deck B2. The room's information panel at the bottom shows information about the crew type and number needed for operation and when the next maintenance is due. This bridge needs a permanent crew of 2 pilots. The green icon above the room warns you that this room is currently losing efficiency. Rooms have to be checked regularly or manned permanently to avoid malfunctions. A green icon shows you that pilots are needed, a blue icon needs technicians, white is for medics, and red is for soldiers. Please select the life support. For this room to stay 100% efficient, 1 technician needs to be present every 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You can select single crew members by left-clicking on their flag and adding additional units by holding Shift while clicking. You can also hold and drag the left mouse button to select multiple units or double-click on a unit to select all crew members with the same profession. Please select all units on this deck.
Moving out. Not a problem, sir. Hoorah!
For many missions, it's best to equip crew members with suits to be able to survive longer. However, they move much slower when equipped with suits. With all units selected, click and hold the right mouse button and use the action menu to select Put on Suit. Please repeat this process for all other units on the ship. Unpause the game to let them put on their suits.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged, sir. Working on it. Move out. Aye, sir.
You give move orders by clicking. For many missions, it's best to equip crew members with suits to be. You give move orders by clicking with the right mouse button. Morale has a big influence on movement speed. Also, units will move fastest in corridors and slowest in rooms that are damaged or without power. Please select the pilots and send them to the bridge, then pause the game again.
Go! Move it! Move it! Let's get out of here. Stand by. Objective reached. Stand. Working on it.
The bridge and the computer room both need to be maintained by pilots. Please create a route for one of the pilots between these 2 rooms by holding Control and clicking the right mouse button. You can add waypoints later. Move them by clicking and dragging with the left mouse button, delete or change them by clicking and holding the right mouse button on a waypoint. When creating the waypoint for the bridge, or after it has been created, click and hold the right mouse button on the waypoint to make use of the action menu and place a wait waypoint. You can set a time of about 10 seconds by moving the mouse up or down. The further you move it away, the higher or lower the time. The bridge needs to regain efficiency after the pilot has been away for a while. Please select 3 of the technicians and create a group by pressing Control and any number key between 1 and 9. Groups can be removed by pressing Control and 0. Grouped crew members will wait for each other at waypoints. Select a group by pressing Shift and a number key. Mechanical malfunctions occur when the room is low on efficiency. They slowly damage and destroy the room over time if not removed. Send a technician close to the malfunction in one of the fuel tanks to repair it.
Eyes and ears.
Fuel tank.
You can look up any computer message by opening the message log at the top. You can also switch to the relevant deck by clicking on each message.
Move it, move it.
Electrical malfunctions occur when the room is low on efficiency. They'll disconnect a power line if not removed quickly. Send a technician close to the malfunction in the sickbay to deal with it.
B1. Sick bay.
Let's get out of here.
I just realized I missed a corridor between my steering computer and the small bridge. I done goofed. I'll have to go back and fix it later.
Fires break out when rooms are not cooled properly. For training, a fire has been started in one of the fuel tanks. You can extinguish it by standing close to it, but the unit will take damage from the heat and smoke. Suits are helpful to avoid injury. The best units to combat fire are military units, but you can use all professions. One of your technicians is injured. If his condition is below 50%, he'll slowly bleed to death. You either need to get him into sickbay or use the medic's healing ability to stabilize him at 50%. Move the medic right next to the technician to stabilize him. A white arrow above the medic shows that he's currently healing a crew member.
Move out. Not a problem, sir. Go, 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 move it. Standing by.
When a room is damaged over 50%, it shuts down. The power button flickers and cannot be activated as long as the room is not repaired. Just send some technicians into the sickbay to repair it and bring it back online. A green arrow above the technician shows that he's currently repairing a room.
In position. Stand by for orders. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Objective complete, sir. Objective complete.
You can turn on or off any room by using its power button at the bottom right. In the standard operation mission, all core modules, bridge, computer, life support, and engine room need to be running permanently.
Let's get out of here.
Hatches can be locked and unlocked by clicking and holding the left mouse button when over a hatch. Holding a bit longer and moving the mouse up or down opens a menu where you can lock or unlock all hatches at once. Using technicians or soldiers, hatches can also be welded shut or cut open. Click and hold the right mouse button when over a hatch to use the action menu for it. Please remove all personnel from any water tank before continuing to the next step. A hull breach lowers air pressure in all rooms that are not sealed off, displayed in yellow. It'll drain your air supply, but it also takes oxygen away from any ongoing fires. Close all the hatches to the affected room and turn off its power. You can see that this will stop the air loss. To repair the hull breach, send one of your technicians to the breach. Be careful, though, not to send him too close as long as there's air flowing, or he'll get sucked out into space.
I cannot comply, sir. I can't do that, sir. I can't do that, sir. I cannot comply, sir. I cannot do that, sir. Roger that. Let's get out of here. Acknowledged. Go, 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 move it!
Check for all the rooms that need maintenance by technicians, and then create a route with your 3-man group to cover all of them before returning to the bridge. For the waypoint at the engine room, use the action Wait to let them remain there for at least 10 seconds so that the efficiency can get back up before they leave again for another patrol.
Alright, sir. Awaiting further orders.
I think I'm gonna stop this for right now because this is getting a little too in detail. Though we have gone pretty far. I think the last part we just need to do is market and selling. So I'm gonna stop this for right now and I'll come back to it later.